building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Juliette Gordon Low, or Daisy as she was affectionately called by family and friends, was born on October 31st, 1860 in Savannah, Georgia. She was the second of 6 children born to William Washington Gordon II and Eleanor Kinsey Gordon. Young Juliette developed what was to become a lifetime interest in the arts. She wrote poems, sketched, wrote and acted in plays, and later became a skilled sculptor and painter. In her teens, Juliette attended boarding school at the Virginia Female Institute in Staunton, Virginia, as well as other schools in Virginia and New Jersey. She later attended Millais Charbonniers, a French finishing school in New York City. Following her school years, Juliette traveled extensively in the United States and Europe. On December 21st, 1886, her parents' 29th wedding anniversary, Juliette married William Mackay Low, a wealthy Englishman, at Christ Church in Savannah, Georgia. Although the couple moved to England, Juliette continued her travels and divided her time between the British Isles and America. Prior to her marriage, Juliette had suffered from chronic ear infections and had lost most of her hearing in one ear due to improper treatment. At the age of 26, she lost hearing in her other ear after a doctor punctured the eardrum and damaged the nerve endings while attempting to remove a grain of good luck rice thrown at her wedding that had lodged itself in her ear. During the Spanish-American War, Juliette came back to America to help her mother organize a convalescent hospital for wounded soldiers returning from Cuba. Her father, who had been a captain in the Confederate Army, was commissioned as a general in the U.S. Army and served on the Puerto Rican Peace Commission. At the end of the war, Juliette returned to England to a disintegrating marriage. The Lows were separated at the time of her husband's death in 1905. Juliette spent several years searching for something useful to do with her life. Her search ended in 1911 when she met Sir Robert Baden-Powell, founder of the Boy Scouts and Girl Guides. Afterwards, Juliette became interested in the new youth movement and thus channeled all her considerable energies into the fledgling movement. Less than a year later, she returned to the United States and made her historic telephone call to her cousin Nina Pape saying, "I've got something for the girls of Savannah and all of America and all the world, and we're going to start it tonight." On March 12, 1912, 8 years prior to women being able to vote, Juliette gathered 18 girls to register the first troop of American Girl Guides. Margaret Daisy Dutes Gordon, her niece and namesake, was the first registered member. The name of the organization was changed to Girl Scouts the following year. During the early years of Girl Scouts, Juliette dedicated almost all of her personal assets to pay for the expenses of the movement. Her vision and passion for helping girls of all backgrounds became self-sufficient. Strong leaders was the moving force in her life. No sacrifice was too great for her girls. By 1915, if the organization was to continue to grow, funds were desperately needed. To support the movement for another year, Juliette sold one of her most cherished possessions, an exquisite pearl necklace given to her by her parents, once again putting the needs of the girls over her own personal desires. In an effort to continue the growth of the organization, the first cookie sale began in 1917, 5 years after Juliette started Girl Scouts. In developing the Girl Scout movement in the United States, Juliette Low brought girls of all backgrounds together, thus providing them with the opportunity to develop self-reliance and resourcefulness. She encouraged girls to prepare not only for traditional homemaking, but also for possible future roles as professional women in the arts, sciences, and business, and for active citizenship outside the home. Girl Scouts welcomed girls with disabilities at a time when they were excluded from many other activities. This idea seemed quite natural to Juliette, who never let deafness, back problems, or cancer keep her from full participation in life. Girl Scouts is the largest educational organization for girls in the world and has influenced more than 50 million girls, women, and men who belong to it, including celebrities such as Linda Carter, Lucille Ball, Abigail Breslin, Peggy Fleming, Lolo Jones, and Michelle Obama, to name a few. Juliette Gordon Low accumulated admirers and friends of all ages, nationalities, and walks of life. By maintaining contact with overseas Girl Guides and Girl Scouts during World War I, she helped lay the foundation for the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. Juliette passed away from breast cancer on January 17, 1927 at her Savannah home. Per her request, she was buried in her Girl Scout uniform at Laurel Grove Cemetery in Savannah. In her pocket, she has a telegram from the National Board of Girl Scouts of the USA. You are not only the first Girl Scout, you are the best Girl Scout of them all. After her death, her friends honored her by establishing the Juliette Low World Friendship Fund, which finances international projects for Girl Scouts and Girl Guides around the world. During World War II, a Liberty ship named in honor of Juliette was launched on May 12, 1944, at the Southeastern Shipyards in Savannah. The ship was christened by Margaret Gordon, the first registered Girl Scout and Juliette's niece. On July 3, 1948, President Harry S. Truman signed a bill authorizing a stamp in honor of Juliette Gordon Low. The stamp was one of the few dedicated to women. In addition, Juliette's handsome English Regency house was purchased and restored by the Girl Scouts of the USA in 1953. The Juliette Gordon Low birthplace, which provides tours to thousands of Girl Scouts yearly, was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1965, the first in Savannah. Finally, on October 28, 1979, Juliette Low was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in Seneca Falls, New York. In closing, I'd like to thank Juliette Low for the many great experiences and for all the remarkable people I've had the pleasure of meeting as a Girl Scout for the past 5 years. Girl Scouts is truly a program that empowers girls to be courageous, caring, helpful, and honest. Girl Scouts not only changes the girls, it changes the world with random selfless acts of kindness. During my journey as a Girl Scout, I have discovered the reward and service to my community, the true meaning of best friendship, the value and the bond of sisterhood, and an unconditional love for the members of my squad. It is my hope that this documentary will inspire other young girls to join Girl Scouts. Motivating young women to take on the world and show courage, confidence, and character was the greatest purpose in the creation of Girl Scouts for Juliette Low. There is no doubt that the Girl Scouts' success in America merits attention, as does their founder's colorful life. That's not a legacy. I don't know what is. Does Girl Scouts make you feel important and welcome to Girl Scouts?
I hope so. I've certainly enjoyed doing Girl Scouts all these years. I love working with the girls and watching them grow and watching them succeed. And I don't know that it makes me feel important, but it makes me feel good.
And do you think Girl Scouts is a legacy that everybody should do?
Oh, absolutely. We've been around for 102 years now, and we don't see Girl Scouts ending anytime soon. Right here within the Washington area, we are the largest council in the entire nation, and we're growing, and Calvert County continues to grow. Bigger and better all the time.
Memorable moment was when my daughter was a senior in high school. She was a delegate. We went to the annual meeting in Lansdowne, Virginia. Is that what it's called? Lansdowne, Virginia. After the event, they had Georgetown Cupcakes come in, and they had a big tower of cupcakes. Everybody get to get a cupcake. There was one little brownie that was off to the side crying with her mother. There were no cupcakes left. My daughter was standing there talking to some council representatives, had her cupcake on her plate, and she went over and very graciously gave up her cupcake, which she had been looking forward to for 4 weeks for this cupcake, and she gave it to the Brownie Girl Scout. And it made me cry. I was very proud of her.
What do you think is the most valuable contribution Girl Scouts has made to American society?
I think the best thing that Girl Scouts has done is probably give all girls a chance and an opportunity to learn, experience, and do new things.
Do you think Girl Scouts is a legacy everyone should know about?
Most definitely. That's why I still do it, even though I don't have girls in it. I definitely think it can benefit pretty much any girl that's out there and give them chances, opportunities, ways to grow and learn about themselves.
What does being a part of Girl Scouts mean to you?
Mostly it means the opportunity to make new friendships, get to know other women, meet all kinds of girls, and participate in all kinds of events and activities with them, and hopefully share parts of myself and them vice versa with me.
If more girls understood what Girl Scouting is about and the meaning, service to others, and doing worthwhile accomplishments, plus all the fun and cool adventures that you get to go on that you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to do, I think we would have more scouts. So I do think the girls need to hear the message.